What's good, everybody? And you know what it is, man. You know when Jake Mueller is on my left, it is no other day than Mueller Monday. We are here
Another
tonight,
Monday,
and
man.
this is a very special episode. We are going to be having Jake Serini from Wisconsin Sports Heroics joining us for an exclusive interview and also to talk about the Green Bay Packers. But Jake Mueller's joining me. Jake, how are you, buddy?
Doing good. It's a nice Monday, Mueller Monday. Got to be about that. Shout out to my sister. Happy birthday to her. She turns 22 today. But definitely got a lot of sports to talk today. And like you said, we have a big guest coming on here. We got a big interview. Learn more about the social media kind of aspect and also towards branding. So it's a great interview. I'm happy to be on here. Let's get this started.
Yeah, like you were saying, Jake, happy birthday to Kaylee. Kaylee, if you're watching this, we hope you had a great birthday. All that
Happy
good
birthday.
stuff. Happy birthday, Kaylee. You're on Duenkel Production. But like you were saying, Jake, it was a wild weekend in the NFL, man. We had quite the game. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, undefeated Pittsburgh going into Baltimore, M&T Bank Stadium. The Steelers did, however, come away with the win, 27-24. Lamar Jackson did not play well. Jake, what are your thoughts on the game?
Like you said, Lamar did not have a good game, like by any means. He turned the ball over a lot, and his just passing wasn't there. Nothing that didn't shock me. I'm not a big Lamar guy. Like, yeah, he's a human highlight reel. He does a lot of cool like juking. I understand that, an amazing athlete. But when it comes down to the quarterback position, there's got to be a different level, especially against a big game like this. This is probably might be for the division. You never know, because it doesn't look like Pittsburgh slowing down anytime soon. And usually when it's a Pittsburgh-Baltimore game, it's a dogfight. Obviously, these two teams hate each other, so they're going to knock each other out as hard as they can. As you can see during the game, there's some hits where you're like, oh, like, dude, I hope you feel okay. But no, like I said, he doesn't really step up in games where they need him, where Baltimore needs him. He usually falls under the pressure. I don't know if it's pressure or if it's just, hey, having some bad luck here or there. But at the end of the day, I've been saying this last year. He's an amazing athlete, does amazing plays here and there. Flashy guy, I get that. But the record, they're 5-2. That's great. I just don't see him as a winner. All right, when he goes against like tough games where they need to win, he's nowhere there. I don't think he has the clutch gene in him. And I think in order for Baltimore to be on the same level as Kansas City or like a Seahawks or a team such as that, where or like a Tampa Bay, where they, night in and night out, they're going to come to perform and play. Like, you got to have your best. Lamar needs to learn how to throw the ball, and it can't just be a quick 5-yard slant and then you have your tight end or you have your wide receiver do the rest of the work. Or he can't just wait, run it for 10 yards, maybe do a juke here and there. No, they need to have a sustainable offense, a sustainable passing game as well. Otherwise, the Ravens, they'll probably make the playoffs. They'll probably make it as a lower seed. But once you start getting the big games, that's where they fizzle out, and that's where they won't do anything special, though.
Yeah, like you were saying, Jake, Lamar does not perform well in big games. And, this game, and also last year in the division round, you talked about it. The turnovers are a big problem for Lamar Jackson. He really has to eliminate them. You cannot turn the ball over against a team like Pittsburgh. They will make you pay. They will win the game. They're too good. They're too talented. And right now, if you're asking me, I would pick 4 AFC teams over Baltimore right now. I would pick Buffalo. I would pick Tennessee. I would pick Pittsburgh, and I'd pick, obviously, Kansas City. I would pick those 4 over Baltimore right now. I just don't think they're that good. I mean, they played their brand of football yesterday and still lost. Like, that was a very Baltimore game. A lot of running, defense, all that. It was a perfect Baltimore game. This game was perfectly set up for Baltimore. They didn't take advantage of it. And it was really because Lamar had 4 turnovers. I mean, really it was, Jake. I mean, there was a 3-point difference in the game. You had a pick 6, I believe. You had 2 fumbles, and then you had another pick. And this goes back to even last year, like I was saying, against Tennessee. Didn't he? I believe he had 2 or 3 turnovers in that game. And Tennessee, obviously, they shocked the world in that game. I actually, believe it or not, picked Tennessee to win that game. A lot of people were surprised, but I said Lamar's got to prove it to me in the playoffs and even in the regular season. They're going up against a Pittsburgh team that they should beat. They're home. Pittsburgh and Baltimore are two very evenly matched teams. If you put them up on paper, they're very similar. But the difference in that game was Lamar's turnovers. It
Yeah.
really showed. And like you were saying, I mean, if they're a 5, 6, or 7 seed, like they're playing either Tennessee or Buffalo probably. If they're
Yeah.
a 6 seed, they're playing Tennessee or Buffalo. If they're a 7 seed, they're playing at Pittsburgh or at Kansas City. I don't see them winning any of those.
No, I don't. And that's the sad thing. Like, yeah, last year he was MVP. That team looked unstoppable. They looked unbeatable, right? And now it's just like, okay, you did that last year. You need to progress. You need to do something more. I mean, even last year, they're talking about the way to beat this team is just let Lamar pass the ball. Yesterday, Lamar Jackson had an under 50% completion rate. It was 46.4. I'm looking this up. And his passer rating was equivalent to like a Mitch Trubisky. It was equivalent to a Carson Wentz. It was 65.8. And you're telling me that's your MVP from last year. I get it. The Steelers have a great defense. It's a very hardcore nose defense. I understand that. And it's a very big game. But having said that, you got to perform. You got to be able to come out of that and say, you know what? I got to put the team on my back and let's go. Let's get this thing going. Ben Roethlisberger did that for the Steel Curtain. They did. He was out there. He slung 2 TDs. He was having his game because guess what? He's a winning quarterback. Yes, I know the record shows Lamar Jackson has only lost 2 games this season. He hasn't lost that many games overall his whole entire career. That's fine. What I'm talking about a winning quarterback is when it matters most. He's not a big-time winning quarterback by any means. And it shows. Whenever they play Kansas City, they get blown out. It's not even close.
Yep.
Where it should be at least a close loss or it should be a win. And that's
Right.
it. There's no question about it. And if someone wants to say anything about that, it's just, dude, look at the stats. He's not that. Not right now. He's not that right now.
Right. Well, and I mean, too, here's the thing, is I get that guys have bad games. Aaron Rodgers had that bad game at Tampa. I mean, you'll have a bad team game. I think Green Bay had a bad team game this weekend. We'll get into that more as the show goes on, obviously. But, you do have bad games. But this, for me, is like Baltimore is at home. Like, they're at home.
Yeah.
They're without Mark Ingram and still have 250 rushing yards. Like, this is a game you should win. And here's the thing too, Jake, is that Steelers offense, I believe, only scored 7 points in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. 7 points
Yeah, it
in the
was
first
low.
half. And you don't win that football game? That just
But
shows me that Baltimore is just overrated. Like, it is without question that they are an overrated team. They are everyone was talking about the Packers last year and how they weren't good because they would always win ugly. Baltimore looks like last year's Packers, but worse because they have holes in their game. I mean, Marquise Brown, where's he been? Nowhere to be found. Their defense, obviously has so many playmakers. I mean, you take a look at their D-line. They have Matthew Judon, Calais Campbell, Yannick Ngakoue. Like, where were these guys in the second half? Pittsburgh just ran up and down the field on them. And Lamar didn't do his defense anyhow by putting them in short fields and bad situations. And it's
right.
for me, this shows exactly what you've been saying, Jake. Lamar Jackson he doesn't win big games. Like, I would take about 6 or 7 quarterbacks over him right now. I would take Brady.
Totally.
I would take Rodgers. I would take Mahomes. I would take Breeze. I would take Tannehill. I would take Josh Allen.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson, yeah, forgot to mention him. Thank you, Jay. But, yeah, I mean, you have all these guys that are just playing so much better. You know, they've won big games before. All these guys I mentioned have, you know, obviously Josh Allen hasn't really won so many playoff games, but he's a younger quarterback in Baltimore. They don't have as good a coaching structure, I feel like, as Buffalo does. I mean, I
Yeah.
love John Harbaugh. Their owner and GM are good, but Greg Roman as an offensive coordinator, he looks like Mike McCarthy did in Green Bay. He looks like his
Yeah.
offense is a little outdated.
Totally. No, you're right. And like you said, the road doesn't get any easier from here for the Ravens by any means, because next week they have to play the Colts. That's a tough D. That's a very good defense. And it's gonna be probably a game where Lamar shines. He probably will, because it's a low competition one for him. No one's really gonna care about the Colts. He probably will have a great game. I'm gonna probably assume that. But I gotta look out for that. But no, his numbers from last year have dropped off significantly. His completion percentage is down completely. Can we blame that all on him? I'm going to say no, but if you watch the game, I think he's too busy about trying to make a flashy play
Yep.
instead of actually, hey, just do the check down, don't go for the long ball. Or, hey, I have an open guy right there. Nah, screw it, I'm going to run. No, like, you got to do that. His quarterback rating's down. His touchdown to interception ratio is 3-1. That's not good. All right, that's not good at all.
No.
But yeah, just overall, I feel like this Baltimore team has been hyped up so much because of what they did last year and the flashy plays they do, that you're gonna start seeing like who they truly are. And like you said, they have a good coaching staff. They do. And I think you really agreed, or I agree with you on that, the Buffalo Bills, I would put them ahead of them, above the Ravens. And I honestly don't think that talent wise that Buffalo has a better team if you look at it from skill positions, defense. Like if you look at it, I don't think they have a better team. I just think they they want to win, and they want to be able to,
Right.
and they're going to show it, and they're going to come in out, and I think they play as a team better. So I totally see it, and like I agree with you also that I would take like almost 8 quarterbacks ahead of Lamar Jackson,
Mm-hmm.
and who knows, they may be able to pull it out, get some coaching here and there, and but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully they can do something, because if Lamar's having a good season, it's good for football, and that's all that matters. So,
Yeah, like you were saying, obviously Baltimore, Pittsburgh, interesting game. It's going to be interesting to see how Baltimore performs the next few weeks. We'll be sure to keep an eye on that. But now, I would like to welcome in. We got a very special guest joining us. Jake,
Hey, what's up, man?
what's up, man? How are you?
Not bad, yourself?
I'm good. Thank you for coming on the show, man. We really appreciate it. I got my buddy Jake with me. It's Mueller Monday. That's what we kind of coined the Monday show. But we're really happy to have you on the show.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me. Ready to talk some Packers.
Yeah. So Jake, what were your thoughts on the Vikings Packer game yesterday? And what are some negatives and positives that you take away from the game?
There's a lot more negatives than positives, so I'll start with positive. First, Aaron Rodgers still looks sharp, even with that wind. I think it said he had 9 completions of over 10 yards or more, and Kirk Cousins didn't even attempt one pass that way. So Aaron Rodgers, he's still flinging the ball. He's still looking good. And, the benefactor of that would be Devontae Adams, who just keeps on cooking, man. He just can't be stopped. So that's a big benefit there. The offensive line looked pretty sharp for most of it. Billy Turner's done well filling in for David Bakhtiari while he's been dealing with the injury.
Yeah, like you were saying, Rodgers to Adams has been a huge for the Packers this year. It's crazy how good Devontae is. He's really proven that he's definitely a top 5 receiver in this league. But what are your negative takeaways from the game?
Oh, I guess it starts first and foremost with the run defense. I mean, we allowed 226 yards to Dalvin Cook, total yards. I mean, not all that was running, but just unacceptable. Obviously, San Francisco is going to be looking to attack us the same way. So if we don't figure something out with a short week, we could have another we could have some more issues on Monday. The tackling is the reason part of the reason the run defense was so bad. And I mean, the tackling, I think they had they were counted for 9 missed tackles or something like that. You just can't win games that way, especially when it gets colder out. So that's the biggest thing. Just the open field tackling and not getting off blocks.
Yeah, I mean it was bad. I don't know if you speaking of Wisconsin sports heroics, I don't know if you read my recap yet, but I just basically said that the defense was just atrocious. It was awful. I was seeing pictures from people that Preston Smith was out at cornerback. It was just terrible. It was hard to watch. I mean, it really was. And the fact of the matter is that we still had a chance to win the game with about a minute left, and I was unbelievably surprised. But Mueller, let's get your thoughts on the game.
Oh, totally. Hey, Jake, it's good to have you on the show, Mueller Monday.
Hey.
But I think Jake had a lot of great points, obviously. Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, that's like one of the best 1-2 combos in the game. Like, I think DK Metcalf and maybe Russell Wilson might be even a little better, but that's a good argument there. The biggest negative would obviously be the defense for the Packers. You and I, Brad, have talked about it before. Everybody's talking about it. That will be the one thing that holds the Packers back from ultimately getting to their goal, which is a Super Bowl, and ultimately winning it. So you got to see how that goes. But also, Brett made a good point on, hey, you did have a chance to win that game at the end there, even though Devin Cook had a monster game. So, Aaron Rodgers is slinging the football just as good as he was day one. So you can never really question him out. If you got him, you got Brady, you got Breeze. If you have one of those guys with a minute left, whatever, how much time was left, and all you need is a touchdown, I'm taking that bet. That's a good bet right there. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers had himself a good game. He had almost 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 27 for 41, and he had a nice passer rating of 110. So you can't really put that too much on the offense of Green Bay. So it would be it's probably going to be a good test right there for their defense. Obviously, the rush defense was something that was really crucial, and they just didn't perform. But other than that, it's going to be a nice race to see who can finish in the top of the NFC North. If the Bears can pull something out, looking like how they are, or if the Green Bay Packers can just do how they do and just start winning more games.
Right, yeah, like you were saying, Jake, I mean, it is really tough with the Packers defense. It has been for years. Obviously last year, I think you both can agree with me on this. Last year it looked really different. The defense was helping us win games, and obviously you thought that with all the guys that were coming back, and obviously Penn still being there, you thought it would be more the same, where the defense was going to be able to do some good things this year, and they've done some things early, but just really in the Tampa game, and now they still have the same problems. It's stopping the run. I mean, and like you alluded to, Jake, talking about San Fran on a short week, we struggle in California. We struggle against the run, and we haven't been good against San Francisco really in a few years. Like, I mean, the last couple of years when we've played them, we haven't really won often. I mean, I think we've won twice? Maybe? I don't know. I know it's not been much.
I think the last time was 2018. Jimmy G was out with the torn ACL, and I think we beat Nick Mullins was it overtime?
Yeah,
it was a high scoring game. I remember that.
But again, like overtime against the backup quarterback, like that just shows the Packers have struggled so bad against San Fran. I mean, Jake, do you have anything to point to where, like, we have a positive going into that game? Like, I mean, I know the 49ers are injured, but they still have Kyle Shanahan, and they still have a lot of talented pieces there. I mean,
absolutely. And the last thing they can afford to do is take San Francisco light. But you nailed it right there with the injuries. That's for as hurt as we've been, man. San Francisco definitely feels it too, and they are going to be out a ton of key players, including their starting quarterback. George Kittle's out with a broken foot. Deebo Samuel's been ruled out, and they're still missing Joey Bosa. They're still missing Solomon Thomas, Richard Sherman. They just traded Quan Alexander today, so I mean, they're definitely not the team we played last year. So there's always that. And if we can even get it, we need Aaron Jones back now with Jamal Williams most likely being out due to contact tracing, I believe, or something like that. He was pretty close with A.J. Dillon. And as we all know at this point, A.J. Dillon's tested positive for COVID. So he is looking like he will be missing the game on Thursday, Jamal Williams. So we're going to need Aaron Jones back. It'd be nice to, get David Bakhtiari back or, get a couple of these guys back, maybe some fresh legs out there. That's all you really have to hang your hopes on because although they're missing, who is it? Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson, they got Tevin Coleman and, don't feel good about our run defense right now. So,
and Shanahan too. He can call plays for just about anybody. He's going to bring his A+ game, and for us too. I mean, with this COVID situation being on a short week, there's not a lot to point to for me right now that tells me that Thursday night is going to be any different than it was even maybe last year. Like I think we might be headed for another blowout. I mean. It's just it's kind of how it feels to me. I honestly, to tell you guys both this right now, I think Thursday night's a must-win for Green Bay because I think if we lose this game, I think there could be definitely a snowball effect because we do still have at Indianapolis, we do have the Bears twice. They've played decent this year. We play at Detroit. We've struggled against Detroit the past couple of years for some reason. I don't know what it is. But
not so much week 2, or week 3, whenever we just played them this year. We beat them pretty good. But, yeah, nonetheless, those are always close games.
Yeah, and I mean, Tennessee later in the year, too, that's a concerning game. So it's like you start looking at their schedule, like a lot of these games aren't just like you can pencil in as wins. And this one, to me, is really important to get our confidence back on track. I think, too, I don't know if you guys both want to add to this, but I think there was a little bit looking ahead from the Packers, looking ahead to that matchup, saying to themselves, we get another shot at those guys. And Minnesota's coming in here 1-5. Obviously, Kirk, or he's up there in the league in interceptions or something like that, and obviously they beat him pretty good the first time. So I think there may have been a little bit of an overlook there. I don't know. What say you guys?
Yeah, I guess I'll. Oh, cool. Yeah, I definitely agree. And they just weren't beat by San Francisco twice last year. They were just downright embarrassed by them, and I think that they definitely had to have had the game circled. Obviously, I can't know for sure, but that's just the way it seemed. Something that Matt LaFleur always talks about seemingly after losses is how they just didn't come out right with the right emotion and the right desire to win, so hopefully that, maybe they were just, hopefully they'll come out ready for San Francisco because we just can't have another dud like that.
No, totally. I agree with Jake. And like Brett, you mentioned, this is going to have to be a must-win game, not just because it's against San Francisco and they're not like highly ranked in the as an opponent, right? But like after a hard loss like that, you need something to grasp onto and get your season, get everyone back going, get the morality going. But I think the biggest takeaway is, like we all been saying, it's a quick turnaround. You got to go out to Cali for this game, and a lot of injuries are happening, and you don't have that much practice time. I don't even think they practice on Monday. I think it's just more a recovery film kind of day. So you got like maybe 2 solid days of practice, getting things over with and iron it out. So I'm expecting I'm going to expect a pretty big game from Green Bay. I think they're gonna get this one going, and they got a nice tough schedule coming up in front of them. But if you got number 12, that's all that really matters. So that's a pretty big game though. So it's definitely gonna be a good one, that's for sure, even with all the injuries.
So, Jake, you think the Packers win?
Yeah, I definitely think they win. I think they win somewhere around like 28-20.
Jake, Serene?
Yeah, I think they'll win. I don't have a score prediction yet. I haven't been able to look too much into it. And 28-20 sounds good. I think I'll go 27-20, 27-17. I think we'll be able to put points up on them. And,
Yeah.
Sometimes it seems like Nick Mullins is actually better than Jimmy G. So I honestly have no clue how that's going to go quarterback-wise. So,
Yeah,
20.
that's a fair point. So, 27-17, Jake, Serene?
Yeah.
Hey, is that how you say it, by the way, Serene? Did I get it right?
No, it's Sirianni, like the Colts offensive coordinator. He's Nick Sirianni. No relation. But
I've been trying to
Let's say
practice
you
that
guys
all
were-
day, by the way. So,
what was that, Jake?
We'll just say you got a good relation there, so you got something to fall onto. So yeah.
yes, sir.
Yeah, I got latest news on Indianapolis Colts right here.
All right, Jake. So now I want to talk some Wisconsin Sports Heroics. Obviously, you are the co-founder of the company. It's a great company. Obviously, I've had some firsthand experience with it. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Great group. But
Appreciate that.
me and Jake want to ask you some questions kind of about it. So, when did you start Wisconsin Sports Heroics?
Actually, we launched January 1st of this year. My partner Matt and I, when we started it, the original name of the site was OTH Wisconsin, which is just I guess a sister site, so to speak. He has another website, which is Overtime Heroics. So we were going to do a branch off of that and make it OTH Wisconsin, but due to just honestly just confusion amongst our own writers and everyone, we decided to just cut completely and make us our own thing. So that's how we got Wisconsin Sports Heroics. We just January 1st, I believe, was the question.
that's cool.
That's awesome. That is so.
Well, that's
cool.
really cool. That's actually really cool that you guys were able to come together and make a cool website like that. So like Brett and I were talking about, like, what's your guys' reasoning for making the website all together? Like your first site ever, what was, and then stemming off from that, what got you guys going?
Well, it started a few years ago. I ran a private blog. Like I had a random WordPress site. It was a free site too, so it was like Jake's something and then 15 different numbers at the end because I didn't pay for it. But it was just one where I did game predictions. I did not boxers. Power rankings, game predictions, just random news bits here, just on my own, just something I did for fun. And then Matt, the co-owner with me, he messaged me one day wanting to get me to write for Overtime Heroics. And after about 6 months or so of writing for them, him and I got an idea of branching off and doing our own kind of, because he's from Fond du Lac, so he's a Wisconsin guy as well. So we just thought it'd be cool to do something that we were passionate about, which is Wisconsin sports. So, yeah.
That's really cool.
So what are some of the ways that you guys, keep up in today's social media, like with your branding and your marketing and all that stuff?
It's just following the right people. Honestly, like there's been a lot of people who have helped and given us advice. And we talked with Andy Herman for a while. He gave us some good advice. The fellows over at Game On Wisconsin, they're a good group there. For all the Twitter guys who, if you know Wisconsin sports, you probably know the Ike guys. There's Ike Brewers, Ike Bucks, Ike Packers. One of their co-founders, KJ, he's a friend of mine. He's been huge in helping us get, the advice they give, even learning from their failures, just everything. It's been a complete team effort, but it's been awesome so far.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I know that Brett's like one of your like writers for recaps, like after like Packers games is more like that. Like, have you had any interactions besides with Duenkel? Because I know it's probably terrible working with him, like having him as a writer. I understand that. Like, I have to deal with this kid constantly. I've known him for like 6 years now. Like, I personally just want to know, and everyone else does too. Like, how is Duenkel as a writer?
No, he's great. In fact, it was just he just had his recap piece posted today. I was the one who went in and edited it, whatever. Yeah, it was great though. He's a great member, great team member. Always, we have group chats and stuff, and the whole team knows him. He's into the discussions, and it just adds the next element to the team that has been great for our success. Or the limited that we've had so far.
Yeah, no, totally. Brett's a great guy. He's passionate about his sports and stuff, and he always talks about you guys. So no, I totally understand that he's a pretty good guy, as you know. So.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for the kind word, Jake. By the way, I really super appreciate it, man. I love being a part of your group. Obviously, I've formed a lot of friendships, not just with you, but Robin. I'm pretty good friends with Robin at the other Adams 14.
Site president,
the GOAT, man. That's what I call that guy, the GOAT. But what is the most effective way to advertise with people so that they can like connect with you guys and find your stuff?
We have a large presence on Facebook. We have a Facebook group. It was formerly Wisconsin Sports 24/7. It is now Wisconsin. Our name, Wisconsin Sports Heroics. We have like almost 57,000 followers in it, and just all our constant posts, our engagements with them. It's really the people that make us as successful as we are, because frankly, without them, we'd have no one to look at. We wouldn't have anything. So just, when people take issue with something, we don't argue. We try to be there for the people that are viewing our stuff, looking at our stuff. Because frankly, keeping them around is what keeps us what we are right now. So.
Okay, yeah, but so you mentioned Facebook. You guys you said around 57,000 followers on Facebook, right?
Correct.
Okay, so like, do you guys have almost like Twitter? I know you have your website. I looked at that; looked amazing. It's professionals all get out. But do you guys have like a Twitter, like YouTube, or like other means of like media to get out to people?
Yeah, so we are on Twitter. We are, I believe, quick glance. I believe it's at Wisco Heroics 1.
Yes, that's correct, Jay.
Yeah, sorry. I feel like I should know that. Yeah, Wisco Heroics 1. Awesome. So we're on there, and we're typically pretty good at responding to any DMs. Otherwise, we have a lot of our writers, and just even the people who run the account, they'll engage with people who comment on anything. Our department leader for the Packers, he does live tweeting from the main account every single Packer game. So that's a great way to engage with a lot of people, because it's like having someone watch it with you. You can check up your timeline and be like, wow, I felt those exact same things when we let Dalvin Cook take a screen pass 50 yards for a touchdown. So
totally, no, I get that.
So yeah, we technically have an Instagram account, but it just hasn't paid off. So I haven't updated it in a while, but probably goes by the same name, Wisconsin Sports Heroics or something along that.
Okay, yeah. So I know you guys started this like this year, and you guys already have a mass following, like you said, like just on Facebook alone, you guys have like 57,000 followers on there. like your company's goal though. So like I know there's like short-term goals, long-term goals, however you want to like answer the question that. So like what is your company's goals? And then like you've already mentioned how to achieve those, but so what are those goals?
Well, really, we just want to be a force in the Wisconsin sports scene, and we want to, we want to be able to be a trusted site where people can come to and get the latest information. Where we want our writers. We don't want just our brand to be big, but we want our writers' names to get out there too. So when people look at ESPN, they see Stephen A. Smith, Ian Rappaport, Matthew Berry, and just tons of other people. We want our writers to be associated with us the way those guys are with their site. So it's just, get the name out there, get our writers out there, and just really take Wisconsin sports by the storm. Obviously it'd be great to eventually get credentialed so we can have our writers go to this games and, participate in interviews and, that kind of stuff. Yeah, just get him big, that's the biggest goal.
So Jake, last question for you. What are some of the things that you wish you would have known when you started this back in January?
I don't know. Gosh, I don't. Nothing really comes to mind at first. Just everything we've done has just been taking it one thing at a time. There's been a couple times we've tried to do a little too much and we just end up overwhelming ourselves. So really just take your time, be patient. We've had up months, we've had down months in terms of views and revenue and stuff like that. So it's just stay patient, trust what you're doing, and don't be afraid to seek help from people who, have been there, done that, and it's okay to ask for help. So, I guess that.
No, totally. I get that. No.
I mean, Jake, I'll be the first to tell you, man. When I sent you guys the DM trying to be a part of the group of the Wisconsin Sports Heroics brand, I was a little nervous myself. I was looking forward to it. I never really wrote for a lot of people before. I did stuff on the side, obviously. Obviously, now I'm trying to grow like a podcast YouTube channel. But yeah, you guys were really awesome. Letting me be a part of this. I'm glad that we were able to, make it work because, you guys are such great people. I mean, literally, like, if there's Packer news out, I'll read your guys' articles over anybody from NFL Network or ESPN because they're so much better. You get a lot of different perspectives from a lot of different people. I mean, even in our Twitter chats, I mean, you talked about it, obviously, we talk a lot in there about different things, and it's great to connect with people and learn and understand a lot of stuff. And I mean, you've obviously taught me a lot from, work, writing and, helping you out the past few years, and I really appreciate you obviously giving me the opportunity, and some of the words you mentioned were, very, very heartfelt for me because, I think you guys are doing great, and, I can't wait to see what happens in the future with Wisconsin Sports Heroics.
Oh, absolutely, man. When I started out at Overtime Heroics, I was just a guy doing it, random writing crap on my own, like I never thought I'd be where I am here. And it's because there were those people there to take chances on me. And, I see it as my duty to help, to pay it forward, to help people in any way I can. So, it's been a pleasure, man. The whole thing's been fun, and just it's super excited to see where it takes off from here.
Yeah, and obviously, I'm sure Jake will echo me on this, but we greatly appreciate your time coming on our show. I mean, Mueller Monday. I'm obviously just starting this Duenkel Productions. Jake, to give him a lot of credit, he's really been a driving force with me on this, helping me out a lot along the way, just being there to support me. And obviously, you and Robin have been very supportive as well, and obviously Andrew, and the list goes on and on from your guys'. You guys have been very supportive of me, in writing for you guys, and obviously doing this. You guys are very awesome, and we appreciate your time, Jake, and obviously giving us insight to Wisconsin sports heroics, insight to the Packers and all that, and we just appreciate your time, man. It means so much to both of us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was a lot of fun. I'll come back anytime.
All right, man. Thanks, Jake. Well, you have a great night, man. We'll talk at you soon. All right.
Yeah, have a good night, guys.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Yep, you too. Have a good night.
Thanks.
That was awesome. Shout out to Jake.
Now that business casual is over with, let's talk about the Bears, baby. Oh, the fucking Bears, baby. Bear down. Bear down. I don't care if we lost. There we go. There we go. Now let's talk about some Bears versus Saints, how people want Trubisky to come back, but I say no. The second coming of Jesus is Nick Foles, and we need to have him. There we go. I look like Mike Dick out here soon.
Well, first off, I'd just like to say a huge shout out to Jake. Yeah, the Bears game was very interesting this weekend. Really, really great game between the Bears and the Saints. But no, just to say too, Jake, make sure you guys go follow Wisconsin Sports Heroics on Twitter, on Facebook. Make sure to check out their website. Make sure to do all that good stuff because these guys really mean a lot. And they're obviously, Jake coming on the show, giving us his time was absolutely amazing. And Jake, I'm sure you would say the same.
No, totally. He seems like a great guy. This is the first time I ever met him. Super nice. He's got the great insight of what it means to make a company from scratch. Literally started this year, and he's already got a great following behind him. I was looking at their website, I was looking at their Twitter, Facebook, all of that, and they have a really good set of writers. They got a great system. It looks like, right? You're one of the writers. You know what it's like to be a part of it. They have great content. If you love Wisconsin sports, any sports, they do college too, right?
Yes, we do Wisconsin Badgers.
There you go. So obviously it's great content. If you want it right away, snippy snap, instead of waiting for SportsCenter to come around, check out Wisconsin Sports Heroics. They're great guys. Obviously Jake, really, really great guy for taking this time out and coming here, hang out with two idiots like us. And that's really cool of him.
Yeah, and I mean, like Jake was talking about too, having that support system, obviously, with a lot of people helping him out is huge. I mean, obviously me starting this out, I'll give you guys a little insight. It was tough for me to start recording, to start posting, to make logos, to make hype videos and all these different things that I'm trying out. It's really hard to post it. Like the first video was ready for 2 days before I posted it. So it is awesome to talk with Jake, obviously. Mueller Monday. Obviously, we do fun stuff on Mueller Monday. I mean, Jake, this is the second straight week he's brought a Bears jersey on. I'm literally just waiting for the Tom Brady Tampa Bay jersey, though. I'm waiting for it. I wonder when it's going to come. I really do. I'm curious.
Tom Brady the GOAT, obviously. We're not going to get in that conversation. But no, Mueller Mondays, let's get this going.
All right, Jake. So, obviously, you got the Bears jersey on. What do you think of the game?
I'll do a quick recap. Yeah, I'll just do a quick recap. Okay, what I saw was, holy crap, the Bears offense still sucks to this day. I don't think it'll ever be. No, I don't think the Bears have ever had a good offense ever in the history of the sport. It's always been the defense that's our offense and the defense that's our defense. We had that game in the bag, and we could have won it if we wanted to, but we just kept getting penalties after penalties. We kept just literally. Okay, this is how a drive is for the Bears. We get the ball at 25 or wherever we get it, right? We're going to do a handoff to Montgomery. He's going to get negative yards or 2 yards. Right after that, we're going to run a super long pass out to our rookie that can run like a 4-3 or whatever, incomplete because, it just never works out. Then after that, we're going to try to get a slant or like some sort of like pick play with Allen Robinson, incomplete, not going to happen. Or he's going to make a spectacular catch and we actually get a third down. But other than that, every other time it's just going to be we get sacked and Nick Foles is going to die someday by getting hit because that dude literally has 4 hungry men wanting to kill him every single time. Bears defense, it's still top. I say it's top 4 in the league. They're crazy nuts. We're going to have to see some good teams coming up again. But overall, the Bears are still in it, though. For some reason, we're still in the picture of the playoffs. We're still in the picture of the NFC North champion. So you know what? That's how we do it. That's how we do it. We're going to sneak in somehow, man.
Yes, sir. Well, that game was very interesting, Jake. Very good game, like you were saying. Obviously, the Bears' defense was really good in that game. Really good. I mean, they did a decent job on Alvin Kamara. I think it's hard to keep that guy down for too long, but I think they did a real decent job against him. And the Bears are obviously still in it. I think they're going to be a playoff team. I think they'll make the playoffs at 10-6. I think they'll probably get a 6 or the 5 seed. If they get the 5 seed, if they play Dallas or Philadelphia, they'll probably win that game because those two teams are just a shell of themselves. I mean, it's unreal. It's unreal how bad that Sunday night game was. Also, quick other news and notes. Jake, thank you so much for giving us the Bears recap. Because I don't want to talk about the Bears.
We'll talk about Tampa next week too. Don't worry, they got a big game tonight, and then they got even a bigger game coming up.
Yeah, so that's another thing. I want to end the show off with a little preview of kind of what's going to be happening this week. So I got my dad coming on the show. Chef Dunk Senior is coming on the show on Saturday. And also one of our good family friends, Fish, is also going to be joining us. So the Saturday is going to be must see. That video will likely go up on Sunday morning. So make sure you guys check that out. Also, make sure you guys have been checking out the past episodes. We have episode 5 with Jake and JJ. We have episode 6 with Nick and episode 7 with Mason that have all came out within like the last 4 to 5 days. So make sure you guys are checking those out. Also, make sure to subscribe. We have 26 subscribers. Thank you to everyone that's subscribed so far. We want to get that up. We want to keep growing our brand. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like and make sure to comment because this week we are starting the Fan of the Week. Now, you're going to ask me, what does the Fan of the Week get? Like, what's such a big deal? We're going to need a shout out on IG. You're going to have a chance to come on a podcast episode at some point. And you'll have the chance to join me on an IG Live for one of our like game recaps, game previews, anything, Sunday picks, Saturday picks, something like that. We're gonna come up with something. So make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you guys like, and make sure you guys comment, and also make sure you guys follow the IG Dunks_Productions because it's awesome. We post videos, hype videos every Monday. We post sports updates. We post all this good stuff. I post my picks on there on Sunday. We usually do Sunday picks with Jake Mueller. This weekend we had to skip. We're very sorry to the people that love the game day picks, but we will be back. We'll be back this week, and it's gonna be an awesome one. But yeah, thank you guys for checking out the video. Jake, any last words?
Besides bear down and Tampa Bay for the Super Bowl, that's all I got.
Tampa Bay. He still forgets. Hashtag Go Pack Go. Thank y'all for watching. We hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful night.